Hello everyone, I am Surendra Jain, Master Teacher in Vedantu. I am presenting you the solutions of JEE Advanced 2020. This is question number 12 from paper 2 from the topic binomial theorem. The subtopic is properties of binomial coefficients. One very important category of questions for JEE Advanced. In this question we will need one very important, very beautiful manipulation to solve this question. Let us see what this question is. For non-negative integers s and r, let SR is equal to S factorial upon R factorial into S minus R factorial if R is less than or equal to S, 0 if R is greater than S. Now, this expression reminds us of something that we have done in the topic binomial theorem and PNC. If you remember NCR, this is exactly same thing. So I can call this as SCR. Okay, for positive integers m and n, let gm comma n is equal to sigma p equal to 0 to m plus n f m comma n comma p upon n plus p cp, where for any non-negative integers integer p, f m comma n comma p is equal to sigma I equal to 0 to p m c I into n plus I cp into p plus n c p minus I. Then which of the following statements are true? Let us first solve and then see what all options are. Now we are given two expressions to be simplified. One is f m comma n comma p and another one is g m comma n. In fact, we are going to use this f in this g only. Now if you see, this g has limit of p from 0 to m plus n, 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma m plus n, which means this p can be greater than m or p can be greater than n, or it can be greater than both also, but it will be less than m plus n, less than or equal to m plus n. Why I am saying to you this thing? Because in this f m comma n comma p, this middle term, if you notice, if I put I is equal to 0, because my first limit is I is equal to 0, this will be ncp and it should become equal to 0 if my p is greater than n. And also for I is equal to p, my first term here, which will be mcp, that will become equal to 0. So that means in this f m comma n comma p, if my p is greater than m or n, you can get some 0 terms in the beginning or in the end also. To understand the impact of that, let us simplify it and I'll tell you how we can get this expression very easily. This will be equal to sigma of mci. I am now expanding them, n plus I factorial upon p factorial into n plus I minus p factorial into another one would be p plus n factorial upon p minus I factorial into n plus I factorial. So this n plus I factorial will get cancelled. So here I can write sigma mci into p plus n factorial upon p factorial into n factorial. This n factorial I am multiplying here, so I will be multiplying in the numerator also. Then it will become n plus I minus p factorial into p minus I factorial. Now if you notice, this middle term is actually p plus n cp, which is independent of I. So we can take this out from the sigma sign as common. So here it would be p plus n cp into sigma of mci into ncp minus I. I is equal to 0 to p. Now please understand, as I was telling you, if my p is greater than n, let us say p is equal to n plus 1. So you can see in this one also, if I put I is equal to 0, my first term here will be ncp and that will be equal to 0. So here also we are getting the same impact. In fact, in this ncp minus I and this n plus I CP, they both have same difference. So whenever this term will become 0, this will also become 0. Same goes for this MCI. In fact, I have not changed this at all. Okay, now to explain this, now to understand this, let me write this sigma with expanded terms like this. Let us see. I am writing this as, I think we were getting n p plus n CP. Let me check. P plus n CP into, it would be MC0 into NCP plus MC1 into NCP minus 1 plus MC2 into NCP minus 2, and so on and so on. The last term would be MCP into NC0. Okay, now to understand this summation, this square bracket, we can use method of coefficients also, but I will give you one different method. Please listen carefully. First of all, I am assuming my p is less than m and p is less than n also, so that there is no any special case. So let us talk about this only. Now MC0 into NCP, what I am doing now, I am assuming that we have m girls and n boys, and we are selecting 0 girls from m and we are selecting p boys from n boys. So this will be given by MC0 into NCP. Now if I select 1 girl and p minus 1 boys, this will be given by MC1 into NCP minus 1, and so on, 2 here, p minus 2 here, and so on. You can see this will be p, this will be 0. So what exactly this summation is giving us? It is actually giving us all possible selections of m girls and n boys, out of which we are taking only p persons. P persons irrespective of how many of them are girls or how many of them are boys. So this entire summation can be directly written as, please understand, p plus n CP into m plus n CP. I hope that is clear. Okay, the same thing can be seen with coefficient method also. Now let us understand, if my p is greater than n, I am talking about, suppose my p is greater than n, and a special case I am taking p equal to n plus 1. In this case, you will not be able to select p persons if you select p boys here, because if p is n plus 1, we cannot select n plus 1 boys from n boys. So this is 0 girls, p boys is not possible. It will start from when you select 1 girl here and p minus 1, that is n boys from here. Okay, so this first case which we were considering here will not be possible here. In fact, if p is equal to n plus 1, my this first term here will also become redundant. Okay, now the meaningful thing will start from MC1 into NCP minus 1 in this summation form also, and when I'm selecting 1 girl and p minus 1 boys here also. Similarly, if you select 2 girls, p minus 2 boys, this will represent this next term, and so on and so on. So you can see in this case also, if p is greater than n, this summation will still give you m plus n CP, because we are again counting all possibilities when p persons can be selected from m girls plus n boys. Okay, and this same thing can be verified for that case also when p will be greater than m or p will be greater than both m and n also. Okay, so this is what we have got for f of m comma n comma p. Now if I simplify for g of m comma n, this is summation, this will be p plus n CP into m plus n CP whole divided by, and here also I think it is same, m plus n plus p CP. So this we can cancel here, and this p is starting from 0 till m plus n. So here from that property of binomial coefficient, that should be equal to 2 raised to the power m plus n. Okay, so we have got one very easy simple term for g of m comma n, that is 2 raised to the power m plus n. So let me write it here. G m comma n is equal to 2 raised to the power m plus n. Now we can check these options one by one. A option is g m comma n is equal to g n comma n. G n comma m. Now you can see from this g m comma n that it depends upon the sum of these two numbers. So if it is same, I think it should be correct. M comma n or n comma m will not make any difference. Same goes for B option also, because here g m comma n plus 1 and g m plus 1 comma n. So this will also be same thing for positive integers m comma n. Now if we take g of 2m comma 2n, it will be 2 raised to the power 2m plus 2n. Now this is actually g 2 raised to the power m plus n whole raised to the power 2. It is not 2 times of this thing. So C option is not correct. I think D option is correct. Very easily it can be seen. So A comma B comma D should be the answer. Let us see what answer is. Yeah, A, B, D are the answer. So that is all about the solution of this question. I hope you have liked the solution of this question. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next question. Bye.